Hi everyone, this is Quinn from Sequence Art, and for today I have a tutorial to make paper cut art in your journal. So for your supplies you'll need a X-Acto knife or something similar. You'll need a pencil to sketch out your design. If you want to look at more info on how I sketch my design, you can check out my blog on Return to Olive that's linked in the description. And most importantly, you're going to need a cutting board to put on the other side of the page. Remember that you always want to put the sketch or the template onto the back side of the page so that the front will be the pure color that you're going for, so you won't have any sketch marks or anything like that on it. And honestly, once you get started, you just get started. I do have a few tips just in general of where you should go during the whole process. So you should always start in the middle and then go outward and start with the most detailed and go to the larger, less detailed sections. So for me, since I'm starting with the sunflower, I'm starting in the middle and with the seeds, because as it happens, the most complicated section is also in the middle of the piece. So I will start with the seeds and then I'll work my way out from there, going to the petals and then going to the other filigree designs that I did on the corners of the page. As you can see, I'm moving the paper as is best for me in the moment, so feel free to move the page around as you need to. So here I'm using a marker to make the lines thicker. This is helpful whenever you're doing the cutout because you don't want to cut out with lines that are too thin, otherwise you're likely to cut the line off entirely, or you're just going to mess up the design in general. So I like to go with a thick marker so I can make sure that my lines are nice and thick and they'll be seen easily and are easy to cut. So for this block I actually got this mat specifically. It is a very thin mat that's typically used for quilting apparently, but it's nice and thin so it doesn't leave a crease in my journal. But you do want to have something protecting the paper behind where you're cutting so you don't cut through that and into the next piece of paper. Also, excuse my hair as it tries to join the video. This clip specifically is very guilty of my hair getting in the way, but I kind of wanted to show you what it looked like when I was finishing the main part of the sunflower. So next I move on to the filigree, and when I did the filigree I always started with the more detailed section. So the sunflower, then I would go to the leaves before I went on to the outside of the leaves. So always do the inside before the outside like I said before, so the inside of the leaves before the outside of the leaves. Now these next few clips are to show you what to do when you make a mistake, because I've made many mistakes and there's a chance that you may as well. In this case, I just cut out an entire part of the leaf, which is always scary when it happens, but it's always okay. As long as you have the piece of paper and a piece of tape, you'll be fine. So basically, you just take a piece of tape, preferably in about the same length and size as the piece that got cut out or you want to like fix, and then you just tape it together. And you have a knife, and so you can cut around so that you can't see any tape on the other side. One easy way to do this is to just stick the tape directly onto the cutting board so that it sticks down, and then once the piece no longer sticks to the cutting board, you're good, and there shouldn't be any more tape, and your piece will look like it's brand new again, more or less. But always remember that there's a way to fix these mistakes. It's always very scary in the moment when it happens, but they're very easy to fix. Thankfully, tape and paper work very well together. So the last part that I worked on were the roots at the bottom. These were the easiest to do because they were just long, simple lines, and that's why I waited to the end. You want to do the larger pieces at the end because when you're doing the fiddly parts, the small details, you want to have a lot of paper to hold on to. Otherwise, you're more likely to have the paper rip or for you to cut through the piece of paper. So always leave those large sections to the end as much as possible, unless they themselves are in the center. Remember, always inside out and then detailed to less detailed. For more information about this stuff, feel free to look at my blog that's linked in the description, and also feel free to check out my Instagram. I have a few other paper cut art stuff on there that you're free to either get inspiration from or ask me questions about. I'm always open to DMs. So once your piece is done, you have many options. I'm just going to leave it hanging like this is. I'm deciding which color to put in the back, either like a yellow or maybe a purple. I think the purple works better because it kind of pops the color a little bit better. But you can choose to either glue down your design to the paper behind it, or you can just leave it free hanging. If you do want to glue it, my suggestion for you is to take your cutting board and put the glue so that it doesn't stick on any piece of paper behind it, and then you just press down the piece onto the next piece of paper. But thank you so much. I hope you learned a lot from this,